Welcome, viewers, to today's chat show, where we introduce you to a very interesting book on princely palaces of Delhi and its author. People of Delhi and most visitors with an interest in architecture and design of Delhi are generally acquainted with the many houses or princely palaces of Delhi. Most of these famous houses are located near the India Gate and are the most visible ones, like the Hyderabad House, Baroda, Patiala, Jaipur, and Bikaner House. There are several others located in the insides of Lutyens, Delhi, like the Dholpur and the Mandi House, etc. Now, these houses represented the provinces or the princely states that existed pre-independence. In reality, these were the embassies of princely states at the British imperial capital at New Delhi. However, most of us are unfamiliar with the facts, antiquity, and the story behind the construction and purpose of these houses. The general information on the internet is also lacking. Now, looking at these houses, from time and again, the questions used to come to my mind too about who built them and why. As a designer and a person with interest in architecture, I often wondered about them, but never quite got to do a research on the subject. So, when I came across a tweet forwarded in a like minded group which talked about the book Princely Palaces in New Delhi by Dr. Sumanta K. Bhaumik, I was very excited. I asked my friend and co editor Jaya whether it was possible to meet and talk with the author of this interesting book, and she was also very excited at the prospect. She personally contacted Dr. Bhaumik and fixed up a meeting. So, today, here we bring to you a chat with Dr. Bhaumik about the story of these houses, his interests, and how he got to research and get this book published. Over to you, Jaya.
Thank you, Ningita. So it's our great pleasure and privilege to welcome Dr. Shumanto K. Bhomik amongst our midst today. Dr. Bhomik spent his early life in Bhagalpur before moving to Delhi to work in the parliament in 1996. He studied science and literature and has written doctoral thesis on the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore and Emily Dickinson. He has published books of translation and has written research articles, short stories, and essays from various journals. A very interesting story precedes this book, and the story behind that we hear from the man himself. But I'll give you a sneak peek on the background. Driving down to his office regularly through Central Vista triggered his imagination, taking him to the days when the kings rode the roads of New Delhi, then the imperial capital, and led him to the story of the princely palaces of Delhi, which grew and became the book that we know about today. So without further ado, we will go straight across to Dr. Bhomik and seek out the story from the man himself. So welcome, Dr. Bhomik. It's a great pleasure to have you with us, and thank you so much for giving us your valuable time for us to know more about this amazing and unique book that you wrote.
So I will start with my journey, how the book came out. Actually, I was not planning to write a book on this. I was just roaming around India Gate every day as every day I do. And India Gate is a favorite place of mine. And I was wondering what these houses were. The houses we know by the names of Hyderabad House, Jaipur House, Baroda House, and all kinds of houses. So were these only houses where people live? Not ordinary people can live in these big houses. So these were actually palaces owned by the Maharajas of India at that time during British rule. So how did they came up? And all these things kept turning in my mind, and I looked for answers in Wikipedia. They didn't give the right answer. So I asked the historians and other people. They also did not have the full picture of the house. Then I started going to the archives and looking for the files. and getting more information about these palaces. And I did also go to places where these Maharajas lived at that time. See, for Hyderabad, I went to Hyderabad, met the families of the Nizam, and worked with the archives here. For Jaipur House, I went to the Maharaja of Jaipur, first while Maharaja of Jaipur, we should not call Maharaja anymore, but they have their families and they have their memories of these houses. So like that, it went on, and I traveled all over India to find out more information for the benefit of the people of Delhi and India to know about these festivals.
Wow, that is some major research you did, Dr. Bhumik. So, how did your curiosity really get picked for you to make these amazing journeys to the palaces and to meet the kings and the royal families, go all the way to the various states like Kerala, you were just talking to us, to Rajasthan, to Hyderabad, and whatnot. What was that amazing thing of all? I mean, because we keep on traveling, across Delhi
And
so
we
many
see,
times,
we
and
also
we
think
see, yeah, but it never occurs to us,
to
how
do the research.
exactly, and I mean, what are these houses doing after all in Delhi? That to central Delhi and such beautiful architectures. So, what really piqued your interest, Dr. Bhumik, for you to really go to such lengths to fulfill that journey of curiosity?
To start with, I should have a disclaimer that I am not a historian, not a student of history. I studied science, I studied literature, did my PhD in literature also. But while in Delhi, you see so many, Delhi is a historic city, 1,000 years of recorded history. So more of Mughal history and other history is here, of course. And with that, we get into British rule and the history thereafter. So there was nothing available on these palaces which really was wondering because how people can ignore all these palaces. Such a huge palace, a beautiful palace like Hyderabad House, a beautiful palace like Jaipur House, which we know as in another name, like National Gallery of Modern Art. And people used to visit there. And when you ask the people there what is Jaipur House, they cannot answer. And that was very uh, quite
Strange.
strange for me to know that the people. Why don't people know about all these
There's very
palaces?
little information.
Very little information, and whatever information was there was actually misinformation. Like people say, it's the Latins zone. So, what is Latins zone? Of course, Latins was the chief planner, and all credit should go to him for New Delhi. But all these palaces, all these buildings around the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which was Viceroy House, was not built by, not designed by Latins himself. Okay, not by Baker himself. So there must be some other architects who designed it, all these palaces. Thousands of buildings came up at that time, all the bungalows and all things. So I started off like that to know about it uh, because I am interested in digging up things where history is hidden. Something was not said about those things. So nowhere it was said. So it was my duty, I thought, and it was my passion also. It became my passion, and it also involved traveling. Traveling is another side of mine. So also I could have this opportunity to go and visit places. And Rajas and Maharajas hosted me. That was
Wow.
another
Yes.
interesting thing I can tell you. I will tell you about a personal
Sure.
thing. I wrote to all the Maharajas at that time. I wrote letters, and once a phone call came in my office, Nawab Sahab aapse baat karenge.
Wow.
And I was intrigued who was the Nawab trying to call me. And he said on the other side of the phone was Nawab Patodi, Tiger Patodi. He
Wow.
himself called and talked to me, and then I said, "Can I meet you, sir?" So I went to his home in Basant Kunj, met him there, the real cricket legend. But interestingly, we did not speak anything about cricket in the half an hour we were there. There was only history, and he spoke so beautifully. He knew so much about Delhi's history. He gave me so much information. And likewise, wherever I went there, wherever I meet families of us five Rajas, they, they were very kind and open and tried to help me out. So I got many information.
That's straight from the horse's mouth.
Absolutely, and I think Nawab was alive. He was at that time. He was
Yeah, of
alive,
course.
so that when of course he met you at that time. But I mean, this is so amazing and exciting to know, Anindita, right? I mean, you are actually going to visit the Maharajas and the kings just to write a book, and the fact that they cooperated so
Yeah.
much.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
that's really amazing. So, tell us some interesting anecdotes, Dr. Bhumik, about your journeys and about your these kind of unique meetings with the royal families. Something nice and exciting that happened. Where did you stay? What were the palaces like, and what were your experiences like?
Yeah, it was very nice to know people, and we don't know about these Maharajas and their families. Usually, you don't meet royal families often. And wherever I went, I took an appointment, of course, and then I met them. And they often hosted me. I went to Travancore in Trivandrum to meet the Maharaja before the Fraser was discovered later on. It was earlier than that. And he hosted me and spoke to me. He was about 80 at that time and told about so many things which I did not know. He used to visit Delhi as a young man, as a brother of Dipen Maharaja, who was Maharaja at that time. And he used to visit Delhi in 1928, 30, 32. So, what was really at that time, 1930, 32? We don't know. So, he had a camera presented to him by his brother, and he used to click photographs. So one day I was in a theatre here in Delhi, and the phone call comes, and the Maharaja says, I have discovered some photographs of Delhi. So I want to give it to you. He sent me those photographs of Travancore House, pasted on a cardboard, beautifully, and those are treasures. And another thing I just had, I don't know how, very surprising. I was looking for photographs of Hyderabad House, the old Hyderabad house first. It was known as the Palace of the Nizam. And I just knew that the contractor name was Babu Khan at that time. And I was looking for Babu Khan on Google. I found one Babu Khan properties in Hyderabad, a construction company. So in that introduction, they wrote that yes, Babu Khan was our grandfather.
Oh my
Okay.
God!
So I wrote to their sales department because nothing was available. So I wrote to their sales department not to buy a house or flat in Hyderabad, but to say that if you can take it to your owner and tell him that I am interested about this, and if he can help me with anything. And after some time there was no reply, 15 days, 20 days, 1 month. And suddenly my email was flooded with some old photographs, 5 photographs of 100 years ago.
Oh wow!
Okay. And then he completely sent me 21 photographs of Hyderabad House which are in the book. You can see that.
So for you all, this is this amazing looking, royal looking book, and this is a complete treasure, for all of our drawing room coffee table. Just have a look, guys.
And for all the students who love architecture and history.
Absolutely. We'll come to, actually, we're going to ask that question also next to Dr. Bhumik. So, actually, you were mentioning, Dr. Bhumik, just now when we were talking, that a lot of people helped you compile this book, compile all the data in this book, and then of course this book was finally released after 5-6 years of hard research, so much of traveling, so much of effort that he took just because he had this massive curiosity to really bring out the information for all of us to really enjoy. So tell us more about that particular journey, Dr. Smith.
Well, this book is about history And it's not just history and architecture, because a building has an architecture, architect, designer, and construction, all of those things. But a building is also a place where you live and you have a memory of those buildings and what happened there. So my book is about architectural history and the political history and social history of the place. So I divided the palaces, the history of the palaces into those divisions. You can see that some architectural details are there, of course, and who designed, etc., how was the plan, and what was the motive of that particular Maharaja to build that kind of an architecture. Usually they chose the British architecture. There were no other architects available at that time. And the architecture is mainly the neoclassical or Art Deco, this kinds of
So could you
things.
find which architect for this house, or that information was not there?
No, most of the buildings were found, or most of the buildings was the architect. But in some palaces I did not have specific information because I did not want to just put here say that it was built by or designed by Latvians without the reference. So all the information gathered here has a reference. I have put the file number and all the things so that people can go and search it again.
In that
In the
archives.
archives available. So two kinds of archives I visited. One is the National Archives of India, which is in New Delhi, and the State Archive. So for Delhi it is Delhi State Archive, but in Rajasthan it is Rajasthan State Archive. For Andhra Pradesh it is Hyderabad Andhra Pradesh State Archive, like that. I went to Darbhanga also, Bihar. I went to Travancore, went to Jaipur, Kapurthala, all the Maharajas of Punjab and mostly in Rajasthan. And I went into some collection of the government, like the photo division and CPWT. I searched for materials there. So I found many things and unearthed many information which was not there in the public domain earlier. So I put things that referred. And I collected all these information and photographs, and some anecdotes also were there because they have some childhood memories.
Yeah.
So you can see all those things compiled into one book.
Amazing. I think I can't just wait to get hold of this book and start reading it. I mean, that's the least that I can do right now. Don't you think,
Very
Anandita?
exciting.
And students, take note of all this, the sources of information that are really going to help you in the future if you are going to be studying the archaeological history, the social and the political history. So, Dr. Bhumik, when you publish this, I'm sure a lot of students, a lot of people have taken huge amount of interest in the book. So, do you think this book can really be useful in curriculum in colleges or maybe in the universities per se for students who are studying history or architecture?
Yeah, I'm not very sure what the academics will take it for or whether they will recommend it for their students. But
I'll
during
share
my
the book.
research, I went to School of Planning and Architecture, and there was only one person who did some research into it. I looked into that dissertation also at that time. And yes, when I was on a trip to East Europe, and I was introducing myself like other passengers there, and when I told about this book, one young girl came up to me to say, we have read this book in school at Kenya, because they have that book. And recently I was told by one professor in Ashoka University that they are doing some project on this book.
I think it's really
Good
should
for
be.
me.
Exactly. I mean, it should be because this is such a wonderfully researched book, and it has information which no other book probably would have. No other.
We keep on thinking we don't do the research, but it's such a
Exactly.
great thing that Dr. Bhowmik has done this research and then compiled it also as a book.
As a
That is
book.
the major.
And having no background in history, only
Yeah,
just
with passion
because
and
he was passion
curiosity.
and he was curious enough That curiosity actually propelled him to take so much of effort, take so much of time out from his regular work life. And like we all know that he is working with the government. He has nothing to do with the history. So taking out time from the work life, from the travel life,
To pursue a passion.
to pursue a passion and a curiosity, to really go to such lengths to come out with this wonderful, treasure house of information and knowledge that we most of us don't know about. I think it's going to be really a wonderful read for all of us. Guys, do go out and buy this book and keep it as a prized possession amongst your other books, like we all do. So thank you so much, Dr. Bhumik, for giving us time. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I really have no words to really say, how valuable this book is for us.
Really excited that we get to know
Exactly.
about everything which we were thinking in our minds. Now we have it in our hands.
And we know so much about Delhi now. So I think that's something to be proud of. So thank you so much for watching us, viewers. Signing off. See you soon in our next video. Bye.